broadcasting from an undisclosed location, giving you today's events unfiltered, uncensored, and raw. It's the Raging Gorilla.
This podcast may contain offensive subject matter and language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings and welcome to the Raging Gorilla. I'm your host, RG, and today I want to talk to you about 1776. And let's call this 1776 2.0, because I really believe that we are in a place right now that we could see a revolution in this country. So I'd like you to think about some things as I go over some facts about where we were back in 1775, 1776, that led to that Revolutionary War. Think about, these are some things that I ask myself when I'm looking back through history. What were the conversations like between the founding fathers? What were the conversations like between the patriots as it led to that boiling point? It led to the ultimate shot heard around the world on April 19th of 1775 that put this whole thing in motion and gave us the country that we've come to know and love, except for, obviously where we are today. So think about what those conversations were like, and are we having similar conversations amongst ourselves right now in quiet circles, amongst people in church, amongst people sitting at a bar, having a few drinks, co-workers, police officers, firefighters, military personnel, teachers, social workers. I don't care where you come from, what your occupation is, what political party you identify as. We are at a crucial turning point in this country. As we were back in 1775, the events that pushed the people over the edge were the British troops coming in and trying to seize their arms, trying to take caches of weapons that they had stored. And that's what, that was the match that lit the powder keg that set off this chain of events. But things were building for 10 years up to that point. You had the Boston Tea Party and a lot of other historical events that took place where patriots were pushing back against the British, against the monarchy, and they were living under tyrannical rule. And it seems a lot of that feels very familiar right now with what we're going through. We're being taxed like nothing we've ever seen before. Our rights are being eroded every day with mandates and lockdowns and all this other nonsense. And the whole thing has just been absolutely unacceptable. So I'm going to go through a list because I hear a lot of misconceptions about who those patriots were back in 1775 and 1776, and our, our founders who signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776, I hear so much misinformation being put out that why should we listen to a bunch of old white men telling us how we're supposed to live our lives, and they don't speak for me. Well, if people actually would do a little research, and it doesn't take very much, just a simple internet search, and you can see the average age of these people weren't very old at all. The five signers of the Declaration of Independence: James Madison, he was 25 at the time of signing the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, he was 33. John Hancock was 39. James Monroe was 18 years old at the time he signed the Declaration of Independence, and Alexander Hamilton was 21. So you see, these weren't a bunch of old white guys. These were young patriots who had their whole lives in front of them, who were trying to raise families, and they were average people, farmers, just your average citizen. And they couldn't take it anymore. And they put forth a massive effort on literally constructing and forming the United States of America. And here we are today. Some of the patriots during the Revolutionary War, around that same time, around 1776, here are some of the ages of some very well-known patriots during the Revolutionary War. Andrew Jackson, he was 9 years old, played a key part in the Revolutionary War. James Monroe, 18. Aaron Burr, 20. Nathan Hale, 21. Benjamin Talmadge, 22. James Madison, 25. Abraham Woodhull, 26. Paul Revere was 41. Samuel Adams was 53. And one of the eldest members of the Patriots was Benjamin Franklin. He was 70 at the time, which was pretty astounding because the average lifespan of a person back then wasn't 70 years old. So that was a feat in itself. So when people say that it was just a bunch of old white men that brought us the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, that's just false. That's misinformation. It's couldn't be anything further from the truth. So I want you to think about these conversations, and I think it's high time that as citizens, as patriots, we need to start coordinating and speaking together and organizing some things, because we are at a precipice, and we're in a fight for our lives. We're in a fight for our country. And if we don't do something, nothing's going to change other than the country that we know and love is going to be gone, and we're not ever going to get it back. So I'd like to use this platform, I'd like to use this channel as a sounding board for, like I said, I don't care if you identify as a liberal, I don't care if you identify as a conservative. I don't care if you're a Christian, if you're an atheist. It doesn't matter to me. I am speaking to you, an American. If you identify as an American citizen and you care about the direction of this country and you care about the history of this country, then you need to get on board. You need to speak up. You need to fight for the things that you believe in, that you care about. You need to fight for your children. You need to fight for your parents. You need to fight for the people that fought before you to do everything we can to preserve this country and the historical preface that this country was founded on. I don't know what else I can say. The reason that I'm doing this is we need somewhere to congregate. We need somewhere to get some facts, to get some information. I'll do everything I can to make sure that anything that gets posted on this channel for the Raging Gorilla is vetted, it's solid, it's based in fact and not opinion or conjecture. I'm gonna have my opinions. I can't help that. I'm a very passionate person, and I'm very passionate about where we are as a country, and I'm embarrassed that we've allowed it to get this far and we haven't stopped it sooner. The problem that we have right now is we have a federal government that is completely out of control. It is corrupt to the nth degree. It has been infiltrated by outside entities that are outside the controls of this country. We are prisoners of the central banking systems, of the Federal Reserve, and I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, they're just wings of the same bird. That's why we don't get anything done. Because it doesn't matter at this point who you vote for, because the system is corrupt. The system is broken and it needs to be dismantled completely and rebuilt. That's why I said this episode is our 1776 2.0. Because I really think that we've come that far, that there's no fixing this. We need to completely strip it down and start over, because it's not working. We've got federal agencies that are being weaponized against people that disagree with another political party. And if one political party can do it, then the other political party can do it. So that doesn't work. That's not a government for the people, by the people. It's a tyranny. It's fascism at its very core. So don't be fooled by all these ridiculous arguments, because what they're trying to do, and they've been very successful, is they're trying to divide us as a people. We are Americans. We are American citizens. If you were born here or you came here as a legal immigrant and you went through the process to become an American citizen, that is something, in my opinion, even more exceptional than somebody who was just born here. If you came here from another country on purpose to become an American citizen, that is so admirable, and there was so much sacrifice that you had to endure to get that status as an American citizen. And they're trying to divide us and keep us weak and keep us fighting amongst ourselves so that we don't see what they're doing. We're not wise to what they're doing behind closed doors. They're passing laws and signing executive orders and killing this industry and destroying that industry and shutting down small businesses and sending hundreds of billions of dollars to foreign countries and foreign governments as a money laundering scheme. The whole thing is, if you look at it and you really see what's going on, it will just completely piss you the fuck off because we're being screwed every chance they get. We, the American people, I don't care, like I said, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, black, white, Latino, Asian, I don't care who you are. If you're an American, you're getting screwed every fucking day. And it's time that we stand up as a people and say, enough. Enough. I'm not gonna take it anymore. Cause I'm fucking mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. That's where we need to be. That's where we need to be. So, I'm gonna post an email address on this. This will be on Rumble. It will be on Brighteon. It will be on Locals. It will be on YouTube. It won't stay on YouTube very long. I can count on it. That's why I have multiple platforms to post on, because we need a voice. What I'd like to do is, as the community grows, I'll do some live streams to where we can have live interaction. I want to hear from you. The reason that I'm disguising my voice and I'm disguising my identity is that's where we are right now. We need to be very careful because as soon as they find out that there's some resistance, they squash it. They'll come in here, scoop you up, and put you in a federal prison, and you'll never be heard from again. And that's not a conspiracy theory, it's happening. And it continues to happen. So we have to be very careful, just like the Patriots did back in 1775 and 1776. They traveled by horseback, by foot. They wrote handwritten, coded letters. They used signals by hanging laundry out on the line in a certain way, certain colors, things like that. These kids, they were literally just young kids. This was brilliant. And they managed to be able to communicate so covertly that they beat them. They beat the British. They beat a tyrannical, powerful government, and they took their freedoms back, and they created what is in no stretch of the imagination, no doubt at all, the most extraordinary country in the entire world since the beginning of time. This has been the great experiment for 230 plus years, and we can't lose it. We can't let them destroy what so many people sacrificed for to give us. It's up to us to be able to keep it. As the saying goes, it's a constitutional republic if you can keep it. And it's time. So I'm going to post an email address. Anyone that wants to reach out with comments, suggestions of things that you want to talk about, I'll do as much research as I have time for, I will post videos, hopefully once a week, more if it's needed. But we need a platform to be able to communicate on, and I'd like to use this for that. I've got a lot of content to talk about how they're destroying our social construct with this LGBTQ plus movement. I am not homophobic. I am not anti-gay, but I am anti all of this crap that they're shoving down our throats every day. I am anti-indoctrinating our children into sexually alternate lifestyles that frankly aren't, they're not normal. They're just biologically not normal. And that may offend somebody, but I really fucking don't care because it's true. And love who you want to love, be with who you want to be with, but keep your fucking hands off of our children. That's for another podcast. We'll get into that subject a lot more deeper. I've got a lot of information on exactly what the end game is with that movement. It's doing a complete disservice to the people, to the gay community. It's absolutely destroying the gay community. And they don't even realize it. They don't get it. So, again, that's another time. Some other topics, central banking, the fiat currency, the Federal Reserve, how that works, the history of it, who was behind it, who's still behind it, and give you some revelation on that topic that many people aren't aware of, that many people don't know. And frankly, I can sit here and say shame on you for being ignorant, but for fuck's sake, I mean, they've got us buried in a mountain of debt, and people are struggling just to put food on the table and work as many jobs as they can work to try to get ahead. And it's just a losing battle. When you have time to sit down and do research, read books, look at history, when you have time, unless it's something that is enjoyable for you and it's something that's important to you, most people would just rather sit down and watch the latest series, whatever the latest show is on TV, or whatever sports team that you follow. I mean, I've been guilty of it myself when I was younger, but now that I'm a little bit more mature, and there's things that are more important to me than who wins the football game, or what the stats are in the baseball game, or who's playing hockey tonight. What series should I binge watch? That's not what I do with my time. This is what I do with my time because I think it's really important. So, with that being said, I'm gonna cut this one a little short. I think on average, these podcasts, I'm gonna try to keep them around 30 minutes. Um, some of the subjects, like the Federal Reserve, will be several parts. It's probably going to be either a 2 or 3 part series. I'm still working on scripting that out, so I can get through the important parts of the documents and stuff that I want to go over. But anyway, I really appreciate the time that you spend listening to this. I hope it helps. I want to instill hope in everyone and let people know that, if our founding fathers and these patriots were able to do what they did, we should be able to do what we need to do as well. So keep your chin up, keep your chest out, and let's get this thing rolling. Let's get this thing going. There's a lot of people out there that are really making a big difference on the stage when it comes to awareness. So I encourage you to look around. I'll post some things as well. Some people that I follow for information. But we gotta stick together. This whole divide and conquer bullshit has been going on too long. We need to tighten up ranks here and put our political differences aside and our social differences aside and take our country back. And then we can go from there. So thank you again for taking the time, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, the rumble, smash the rumble button, however that stuff works. I'm not really sure, but yeah, subscribe, share. Let's get the word out. And I'd like to get to a point where we can have some guests on that might be subject matter experts in certain areas. Have some shed some light on where we're going as a nation. But I want to thank you again. And this is RG for Raging Gorilla signing off.